Coach, talk to us a little bit about what you saw on the ice today.
Well, I saw some good things. Again, some of the returning kids, you can tell they've been on the ice a bit and making some plays, playing some hockey this summer, and some went to quite a few camps and are back with us now, which is fortunate for us. But I saw some good movement. The second session in the afternoon wasn't quite as good because the ice, a lot has to do with the weather outside and softening the ice a little bit, so you couldn't make quite those plays. But you know, we got some smart kids here, some smart hockey players, and I think that that's going to show this year yet, especially when we get into some tough situations. We have some kids, I think, that can work through that, and not only with their skills skating-wise, but playing hockey, but also with their smarts.
Kyle Harnish is back with the team. Tell us a little bit about what he brings to the table.
Well, first of all, veteran leadership is key. You know, we got 4 or 5 guys coming back, Kyle being one of them, and that leadership, just that calmness about them, and the confidence that they bring, that they've been here before, they've done that, and he's going to contribute very nicely, I think, in the locker room as well as on the ice because of his leadership. And you can tell he's an intelligent kid, even though, you know, a lot of people say coming out of California, it's not a hockey state and that. Some of these, it doesn't matter where they play anymore. They come from all over the place, and he's one of those kids that we're going to rely on, especially for leadership on the ice, again, to keep the kids calm on the bench and on the ice. He's a guy that can do that, and we're looking forward to it.
Who are some of the players who are really standing out to you at this point that are going to be, you know, big-time minute-eating players?
Well, I think that if we can get Ryan Erickson from Bemidji, he's a kid that I think that we can utilize. He's got good size. He's a smart kid. He's a good hockey player. He's a big kid. Certainly he's got that Minnesota flavor that we can use him in the corners for banging, digging some pucks out. But again, Van Hotter's a kid that we're going to rely on scoring some goals. He and Eric Keljo are 2 kids I think that are going to be very, very good. And if we can mix them in with a kid like Max Culp, even Jeremy Ebert, guys like that, we're going to rely on them quite a bit. Even though they're younger kids, I think those are some of the guys that you're going to look at, especially our team, to see in the scoring race.
Coach, you have a shortage of defensemen a little bit right now, but how do you feel those guys are holding up, the few guys that you do have?
You know, I think we're going to be okay because if I can rotate 5 defensemen and barring any injuries and potentially picking up 1 or 2 more, I think that we have some kids that can play forward or defense if it comes down to that in emergency situations. And there can be situations where I may take them off the ice because of a power play and give them a chance to get a breather a little bit so they can take care of the regular shift and some penalty killing. But again, it's unfortunate that one of the kids that was coming from Minot didn't make it, who was a defenseman, Javert Giese, who we could really use as a local kid. He's another one that would see a lot of minutes if he were to come. But you're right, we're still looking for some position players, and that happens to be one of them that we really could utilize 1 or 2 more players.
You have 3 young goaltenders on this roster right now. Anyone standing out to you right now as the starter, or just 3 guys all about neck and neck right now?
You know, they're all competing right now. They all bring something different, really, to the table. One handles the puck better than the other 2. One does a better job on breakaways than somebody else. One just, his angles are so much better right now in close situations. So they're all 3 competing for the starting job right now. There is no clear-cut favorite, and when we get into it, not this next week, but the week after, the race is going to be on who's going to be the starting goaltender, and it's good competition. It's good to have competition. It's good to have 3 guys to compete in that competition. So I think that we're going to be, regardless of who it is, I think we're going to be okay because they're all doing a good job.
Any players in particular that you saw make big improvements from the June camp now to the August camp, a couple of months of work there? Any players you saw really make strides?
You know, I do, and you know, again, we've got some new players here, but I think that right now, Tony Falcone is one of those kids. I think that he came back and he just seems to be a solid player. Chase Engdahl again is he's shown a little bit more than he did the first time. A lot of times the kids are nervous in that first camp, and a lot of times they can get flustered a little bit and be a little bit anxious about doing some things. But coming back to this camp, those 2, and again Eric Keljo, again, he just shows some poise for a young kid. He's only going to be a senior in high school. Those are kids I think that have done a very, very good job and coming back ready, knowing that they're here to play hockey right away, and I think they did a good job getting ready for that.
What's the biggest challenge going into the beginning of the season here? You got about a month to go. What does the team have to do to be ready to start the season?
I think the biggest thing is that we just have to get to know each other a little bit. The kids playing together, getting line combinations is always big. Another thing is they're going to be learning a completely different system from what they're used to. We're not going to be nearly I shouldn't say as offensive, because we're probably going to score as many goals as they did last year, but we're going to cut our goals against down. So defensively, they're going to have to learn a system that's going to be very, very simplistic, but we're going to work very hard at it in our own zone. And I think our special teams, I think we're going to be very good at that. We have some talented kids that I have 6, 7, 8 kids right now that easily can be on either power play. But I think it's just learning the systems is going to be the biggest challenge, but it's going to be simplistic and easy. We're going to work hard at it, and it's not anything that's out of the realm of what these kids can do. And again, I think that we're going to be fine. It's just a matter of playing together for a little bit.
We talked to Eric Keljo, and he said that there's a lot of chemistry in both the dressing room on the ice. The players seem to be getting along, and the veterans seem to be leading the team. How do you feel? Do you think that that's accurate and that the team is really coming together the way you want them to?
You know, I agree with that. I see it on the ice. I see kids trying to help each other, especially in the locker room. Once we all get together and again get to know each other a little bit and our personalities and them getting to know me getting to know them. But I think the veterans have done a great job at taking the youngsters under their wings and kind of showing them what it's about, telling them a little bit until they actually get in their first game. Hockey's hockey, but as you move up levels, it gets that much quicker, that much harder, and guys do a better job on the other teams as well. But I think our leadership from the older guys, you'd mentioned Max Kolp and Kyle Harnish and Dan Dellenbach. These guys are all veterans, I think, that are going to do a great job for us. But in the locker room, you can already see it. Kids are looking to do things together. They're talking. They go out to eat. Things like that. I think it's extremely important for a team, as opposed to having those little cliques that the young guys hang together because they're not sure what to do, and the old guys just kind of avoid them. You see that a lot, but this team isn't like that. This is a very unique group of kids, and it's going to be a lot of fun to coach them. I think they're going to be very, very good.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.